Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1 Round Robin. Today's matchup, T6, Envyus.
Hey, we're back on Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1. I'm Joe, with me is Monte Cristo, and here we are at our second best of 5. Conbox T6 taking on Envyus. Envyus cruising to an easy victory in their first match of the season, but T6 may present a little bit more of a challenge. It's got Gomsu on it, of course, famous wall pro, and at least in their first match, they looked good on an individual level.
Yeah, they did. And both of these teams have now 3-0'd Mighty Storm. So they have the same record against the same opponents. Envyus did make it look substantially easier, and they pulled out some of their old tricks. Of course, we've seen in the past that Harry Hook can go over to that Soldier 76 where they will run one support and use him as an off-healer DPS because his skill with hit scan heroes is so good. And then they'll run heroes like Roadhog for Taimu, Mei as well, just so they have some self-healing and they can sort of get away with only having the biotic field in one support. They did that on King's Row. Their positioning was excellent. So that is one of the problems when you play against Envy, is that they are so good individually that they can pull off compositions that most other teams cannot.
Yeah, they have a certain hero flexibility depth to their roster that doesn't exist in a lot of other organizations. So we'll see if we see a little bit more of that today. I think it's important to note that Taimu did pull out the Widowmaker, actually, in their last match and did quite well with it. Been talking to those guys a little bit. You know, they feel like the Widowmaker changed, the slight change to the Widow's Kiss. The sniping ability has made a big difference, and Taimu obviously feeling it, doing really well with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, was probably the weakest opponent that they're going to have in this group.
Yeah.
Also, we've talked about this before, T6 formed immediately before the qualifiers, then they played immediately as soon as the tournament began, still managed to make it, of course, into the top 12 in Korea to even play in Apex in the first place.
Right.
And that means that these guys have now had a significantly more time to practice and train together. So we hope that we do see a little bit better coordination today.
Yeah, they're one of the teams where you kind of expect an improvement over the course of the season, right? I mean, they looked like they had all the pieces they need to put together a pretty skillful Overwatch team. So can they kind of do it, you know?
Yeah.
Or are they going to build that like Lego tower that looks tall but then falls over really easily?
I hope they don't. It's not Lego Tower sounds a little bit more together than maybe Jenga, which the sliding blocks.
I mean, the point of Jenga is to like eventually pull out pieces until it falls over. I don't think you want to emulate that in your Overwatch team. I think
definitely not.
Make a Lego tower, but make one of those square brick ones where you kind of like alternate the corners so it's really solid. Not just like a single line of like the little square bricks going up like in a zigzag pattern.
I guess that's the metaphor we're going to go with today.
I played with a lot of Legos when I was a kid. I was thinking about that earlier, you know, so there you go.
Yeah, one guy to watch on this Conbox T6 team is Zunba, right? The player who we've seen some Zarya from. For those of you who don't know, he is also going to the World Cup at BlizzCon to represent Korea alongside members of Lunatic High and Africa Blue. So he's consistently been a very top performer on the ladder in Korea, and we've seen some nice plays out of him.
Yeah.
Gomsu mostly sticking to that Reinhardt. We did see a little bit of Winston from him last time around.
Well, it is interesting that with T6, it does seem like initially that the standout players are their tanks. Of course, Gomsu is one of them. Said coming into the tournament that he'd like to play more of a careful, measured style, and that's really what we saw. And so careful and measured, there's a fine line between that and being overly safe, and I feel like he walked that line pretty well in the first match we saw. So, yeah, I'd say on T6, keep an eye on the tanks.
Yeah, it is, of course, an entirely different ball game when you're going up against a team as skilled as Envy, which is, of course, one of the teams that we expect to have a very deep run in this tournament. And with the other teams coming back from APAC, those are some other teams, particularly Rogue, Lunatic High, Africa, and Energy. Those teams can also make a very deep run, right? So
yeah, those, as far as I'm concerned, all 4 of those are playoff teams. The only, I think maybe there's a little bit more doubt as far as looking at a team like Africa Blue, where their results have started to taper off a little bit. But again, once they're back in Korea, like we said before, I expect things to be a little bit more comfortable for them, and I kind of expect the results to get a little bit better along with that.
Yeah, and we, of course, also have some teams that have looked good so far. It's particularly Runaway and BK Stars that may be outside contenders. But there's a reason why we saw those 2 Korean teams invited over to Shanghai to compete. It's because they are really at the top of the Korean scene, effectively.
I would say so. I mean, LW Red, which sadly did not make it in the tournament, would be another one you'd put maybe in that category. But let's move into checking out the map choices for our Battleground today, or our, I just read what's on the screen there, our best of 5 today. Nepal will be our starting map yet again. A lot of Nepal lately.
A lot of Nepal. So it is randomly drawn between the 3 control point maps. The Nepal selection, not by any of the teams, but by the teams grabbing a ball out of a box before the match begins.
And if there's only 3 balls, that's a strong chance that Nepal will be the ball grabbed.
Indeed. Well,
and moving on, of course, the losing team gets to pick the next map. You know that. You've been watching matches already. Hopefully you watched the first one today. Although you could have missed it, it was really fast.
It was extraordinarily fast. It was as one-sided as you can get. We didn't even see MVP Space take a single point. It was a disgusting raffle stomp by Kongdu Onsia.
I mean, just the tone was set for that entire match when Panker got that 6-man Earth Shatter on the village, where, they were coming back from the first fight. He just kind of hid around the corner. He was like, all right, I'm ready. And that was it. It was over. The match was over at that point.
It was gross. Not checking that corner. It's not like Panker had some godly, Zarya shield coming in. Yeah. There was obviously an opportunity to take him out, to CC him during that time, really do anything besides just all run past him and get 6-man Earth Shattered.
I mean, really, right from the beginning, too, it seemed like MVP Space wasn't expecting the level of aggression on that point specifically, because they did send Panker in, immediately, right away, charging and pushing them back into the first room. So, I don't know. It was a fun match to watch. Sometimes those stomps are pretty fun, but let's move on to what will hopefully be a little bit closer, although T6, certainly does have their work cut out for them against a team like Envyus.
Coming in undoubtedly as big underdogs here. Very clean performance we saw from Envy right off the bat.
Yeah, there is Gamsu going in 1 year from professional League of Legends to professional Overwatch, and honestly not looking too bad in the transition.
Well, he's consistently been a top 20 player on the ladder. He's been streaming a lot over on Twitch, and you can see him play there if you are so curious. And he's just been a fixture, right? He's been up as high as 4, which is a few days ago. He's now down at about 20, but plays quite a lot, and his skill rating goes to show for it.
And of course, there's Oparochi. They're one of their
still cracks.
I know, right? In a Korean, that basically translates to Papa Roach. Oparochi.
So good.
More like older brother Roach, technically, I suppose.
Yes.
You can kind of say it in a sort of Papa sort of way as well. But
yeah.
Either way, it's pretty troll.
It is pretty troll.
It is. You know what else is troll? Making one side of your logo black so that it doesn't work with any graphics ever. Thanks a lot, Conbox T6. Moving over to Envyus, of course. These guys coming into it as one of the favorites to at least make the semifinals, if not the finals. Looking very strong in their first match, but against an arguably very weak opponent. So we'll see how they do against T6, but they've been really making their time count here in Korea. A lot of scrimming, and it's paid off.
And they've been getting progressively harder opponents in this group. Starting with Mighty Storm today, they play against Conbox T6, and then on Friday they show down against Lunatic High in our last match before we take a 2-week break for BlizzCon. So it should be pretty exciting to see Envy versus Lunatic High and see if Envy can defeat them like we saw from Rogue over in Shanghai.
Indeed. So, as we move into Nepal, we'll be looking for just a bit more team coordination from T6. That'll be kind of the big theme, I think, for the day, is looking at that ult coordination, looking at that team positioning coordination in their pushes, in their defensive setups. And as we saw, this graphic from a little bit earlier, the most picked heroes in the league so far. No big surprise there with the Beyblade meta being kind of prevalent.
Looking forward to seeing what Envy brings us today. They've been a little bit more creative, again, with the Soldier. They've been running single tank compositions, really relying on their DPS to shine and outskill their opponents.
Yeah. That's about it. That's all there is to say, really. I mean, going into this one, it's pretty clear cut. A little bit better play from T6 if they want to have a chance to take out Envyus. And Envyus, you know, if they stay calm and collected, I think they're already at the level that they should be able to get the win in this best of 5. We've seen a lot of upsets this season already, so you never know.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into Nepal, Doa. I'm excited for our match number 1.
Me too, man. Time to go to Nepal. T6 versus Envyus. Let's see who gets the early lead. Here in our second best of 5 of the night in the Overwatch Apex Season 1. All right, looks like we're on Village again for our first point here.
We always start on Village, Doa. Except for that one time that we started on Sanctum.
You never know. It's a 1 out of 3 chance, you know? And when the computer reaches in to that graphical, like, programmed bowl with the 3 programmed balls, grabs one of them, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be this one. Oh, a basket scored by the hell.
Wow.
Oh, that's the second one. Well,
good. Looking like he is going to be going for the early Genji here in Conbox. T6 not going to opt for the Reinhardt in this match. Envy at least showing right now pretty standard composition. Taimu will be on the Reaper. Tailspin with the Mei, so a little bit more durable, more tanky, and they're going to charge right in here to take the high ground. Typical high ground battle.
Going fast, but Conbox T6 already seeding that high ground. Liz taken out immediately by Tailspin. Oh, another victim claimed, and these right
got both DPS players from Conbox T6 immediately. And that's what that Icicle can do, 75 damage. You hit a headshot with that, it will one-shot the Tracer.
Man, that's a good start for Envyus. Now where's the Earth Shatter? Trying to claim the point. First off, Liz trying to get in there. Can't get in there close enough.
They didn't actually claim the point, Doa.
Oh, you're right.
They got off the point barely, so they don't actually get any percent. That could have been a huge error for Envy.
Well, they've got 4 kills, though, to 1 in this ensuing fight, so I think they'll be able to grab it, but it does cost them a little bit of the percentage early on. I think they were counting on Harry Hook to stay on that point a little bit longer, and he stayed off, or he got off, rather, just at the last second. Yeah,
that probably cost them about 15% right there, Doa, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them. Now, we do have a nice ultimate available for Coco, though, setting up. Gopsu has switched over to the Reinhardt now, moving away from the Winston.
Tailspin on the Roadhog now, too, swapping away from the Mei, I guess. Goes for the hook, doesn't hit it. The Hell takes down Taimu. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but Envyus does hold the point for the moment. Oh, Earthshatter was used. Oh, nice grab, actually. Get the kill. Internet Hulk picking up that one in the end. Liz fighting the back lines of Envyus, so being annoying, building up that pulse bomb damage. Has to back away, though. Zunba picks up the kill on the opposing Zarya. Tailspin, though, in response, grabs that Tracer, and Taimu pops a Death Blossom, and he's going to get 2 of them before he gets slept.
Fortunately, the sleep comes down, but Ana also dies at the same time during the projectile. So now we have this Envyus completely dominating, moving on to the low ground, and swaps have come in and haven't been successful. Sound barrier finally for T6.
Yeah, Tailspin not wanting to go for a grab on the sound barrier Reaper. He's going to pop the whole hog with the nano boost and absolutely wreck Conbox T6. That is that. Oh, this is a grab on the Ana, but doesn't really need to land that anyway right now. So close to spawn, it's not a huge deal.
Great timing on that whole hog right as the sound barrier was fading away, and they just were very patient. Good communication as we saw the Roadhog standing behind the Reinhardt shield, able to get into position and then just unleash a full channel with the nano boost.
A Taimu nearly getting pinned as he jumps out in front of the Reinhardt, but he's going to be okay. Looking for that ultimate. Youngun has the Death Blossom. Oh, but he gets taken out, I believe, by the right click from Tailspin. Oparochi getting smashed like a bug, and Envyus having no trouble at all taking point A on Nepal. Wow, that was pretty one-sided too, wasn't it?
The only trouble they had, Doa, was actually capturing that point in the first place as they messed it up a little bit there, walked off the point before they could start the percent ticking, but beyond that, no other chances. And we did see some swaps coming in there from T6. They abandoned the Genji pretty quickly. Not a lot to reflect coming in from the likes of Envy. And not much there to dive because they were so tanky and focused around a short-range tank and Reaper composition, switching to a Reaper of their own, but
abandoned the May as well because, again, you know, Genji, Tracer, yeah, he did land those right clicks, but that's not something you can really count on. The Roadhog, a little bit better option.
Yes, for sure.
Get those hooks. And here we go, on to Sanctum now. Conbox T6 looking to try to tie up this King of the Hill map. Liz on the Tracer yet again.
So T6 is going to run the same composition that we saw them swap to in the middle of that last map. Envy also just sticking with their guns after their swap, and Tailspin gets the hook right onto the Tracer.
Pretty safe triple tank setup, and you get that damage from the Reaper as well. So I think probably the best comp you can really run on King of the Hill these days. Certainly a good one for this map. Envyus working towards taking that first point. It doesn't look like Conbox T6 is able to contest.
Well, there's great patience there, too. They get the initial pick. They take over the map, slowly push their way forward with a Reinhardt shield, and they turn one kill into a giant positional advantage right now. The Hell almost does have the nano boost available, though. Chips Hyen still waiting for a few more percentages on his, so Conbox T6 will have a window, and here we go.
As Zumba coming in right now, they have the nano boost on Myunghoon, but he gets pinned, though, nearly taken out. Gets a kill onto Coco at the end, though, before Harry Hook finishes him off. Zumba using that Graviton Surge to try to turn things around, but Envyus seem to be the ones coming out ahead in this fight anyway.
Yeah, because they dealt with the nano boost so well. They were ready for it. Chips Hyen hit the sleep dart immediately straight into a Reinhardt charge. So Myunghoon got a kill onto Reinhardt, but that's a great trade if you could do it 1-for-1 like Envyus did, because you draw the ult out. Now they reset here around the point, trying to cover both of the exits on either side, and we'll see what Conbox has ready. They do have the Big Bang combo between Zarya and Tracer for use, see if they can get it. But look how spread out the members of Envy are.
Yeah, they're very ready for this. Liz, though, gets in there with the pulse bomb. Zunba the one to go down, though. Taimu takes out his Reaper counterpart in Myunghoon, and the Big Bang didn't work. Envyus defending the point again quite easily, and they're getting close to 2-0ing Nepal here.
It's all about the coordination that we saw there from Envy. First off, sound barrier was dropped. Second off, Zarya's shield was there to come in for the combo, and Taimu rips through the doorway.
Gets a lot of damage done with that Death Blossom. The kill's coming in for Conbox T6, but we'll see how far they can push this. It was a very early nano boost used by T6 onto their Reinhardt. Nice hook from Tailspin, takes down the Reaper. That will pretty much stop this push cold. Oh, Pulse Bomb just thrown out there pretty lackadaisically.
They did get the kill onto Coco, so they're going to try, but there we go. Internet Hulk comes in, and that is a devastating combo.
Sleep Dart comes a bit too late.
Well,
they get a couple kills. Reinhardt comes in.
The Hell got it, but that is so much damage. It's one of the highest damage combos you can get in Overwatch. A nano-boosted whole hog at point-blank range with everybody stuck in the point by the Graviton Surge from Zarya.
Nailed him with the Nano Hog.
Yeah, the Nano Hog right there. Jeez.
And,
so,
well...
They failed to get a single percentage.
Yep, that was 200-0 as far as percent goes. And Envyus takes a very easy victory here on Nepal. What can you say?
I'm shocked that the matches have been this one-sided so far tonight, Doa.
Wow. That was, I mean, I feel like we've been kind of sitting in stunned silence a little bit after these maps, because this is easily now the most one-sided day we've had in Apex yet.
Well, it's great execution from Envy.
Oh, interesting. Eichenwald is going to be our next map. Huh, okay. So a little bit of a swap. We don't see a whole lot of Eichenwald because a lot of teams just feel that they aren't practiced enough on that map to go with it, but T6 willing to shake things up a little bit here.
Well, I think if you're T6 right now, you intentionally are trying to shake things up because you want to at least maybe find a point of weakness in Envy, something that they may not be as comfortable with either. But man, did they look on point. Just everything about that last point there on Sanctum was so well coordinated from Envy. They got the first pick, didn't overextend, weren't greedy, and then snowballed it from there.
That's right. So, a chance for T6 to take the map they chose here and tie the series up against Envyus. The alternative, of course, being Envyus with a 2-0 lead. Let's see who can take Eichenwald. All right, welcome to sunny Eichenwald. I was going to say beautiful Eichenwald, but all the buildings are kind of wrecked, so.
Hey, there's a certain beauty in its decay, Doa.
I suppose it's true. Sort of certain abandoned beauty. Abandoned or not, though, you got to get the payload into the castle, got to collect the old armor.
I don't understand why you have to take the battering ram after you batter down the gate all the way into the throne room.
Well, the thing is what I don't understand is why don't you just walk around the door that clearly is wide open? Do you really need to batter down that door? You can jump through the hole in the top of the door,
especially
just
since
walk around it.
The portcullis closes right after, so
yeah.
you're definitely not going to take heavy vehicles in there to get the armor. So yes, it makes literally no sense why you would have to do this.
Maybe the dude that owned that armor is still in there, and he's just like, I just wanted to seize the battering ram one more time. Maybe that's it. I don't know. We're still working on, writing the lore for Overwatch. We've gotten a good start. I think we'll put that in.
I do understand some of the other payloads, right? Like, you got to take the Doomfist Gauntlet to the museum. There's actually a point to that. There is literally no point to taking the battering ram in there in this
You got to get the Omnic movie executive to his parking space in Hollywood.
To his
makes
trailer,
sense.
you know?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yep.
Eichenwald makes no sense, but it is a fun map. I do enjoy this map, both playing and watching.
Yeah,
so
we'll going to go for a
it.
Reinhardt-less composition here, diving into the back lines with the Winston and the Genji. So here we go. Taimu going to come in from the side.
That's right. Good flank here, and that's really the point of these dive comps. There are so many angles you can come from as the attacker here. It is hard to hold this point A here on Eichenwald. Taimu gets low, gets hit with the biotic grenade, so he's going to have to back away. Zumba gets the kill onto Tailspin. It looks like Envyus, they're still fighting. Sleep Dart on the Internet Hulk there. See if more kills can come in from Conbox T6. It looks like they might be able to put together a hold here. Another kill for that Zarya. Yeah, Envyus will have to back up a little bit, so good start for T6. Punch to the face, takes out Coco.
Now you see, though, Tailspin.
Oh, Tailspin.
Oh, wow, dying right there right as the Dragon Blade came up. So he was the first to go on the pick. And then immediately after, got some nice poke damage in to charge up his Dragon Blade from the outside. Gamsu with the charge onto Internet Hulk's Winston on the back of the point.
Pretty crucially, too, Chipsian not getting that nano boost powered up on the Ana in that first push as well. You're kind of counting on that. Make the second push work. Envyus going for it anyway. They're going to drop the sound barrier and just kind of bum rush their way in. Earthshatter may stop that cold, though, as Conbox T6 with the counter engage. Liz has that Death Blossom as well if he needs to use it, but it looks like it'll be a pretty clean hold for T6, so they are seemingly very ready to play this map too.
Well, Envy, they were just being patient there. They had the Dragon Blade up, but like you said, no nano boost, and they forced a lot of ultimates out of T6 right there. They had to use the nano boost onto the Liz, onto the Reaper, and the Earthshatter. Liz gets the Death Blossom back up, though, and we'll see if they can execute now, Noah.
Welcome to the Tobelstein. We'll see if it claims anybody. No victims just yet. Now they start to come in for Envyus as Tailspin pulls out the Dragon Blade, gets one. A couple others weakened as Envyus pushes into point A, and they nearly have it already. Looks like this is going to be the push.
Yeah, the Hell's still there on the outside, but he gets chased down and dashed. Tailspin gets it. So that's just good discipline from Envy, right? They lost the initial push. Yep. They waited for the ultimates to come out, and there's a nice reflect onto a Zarya right click. And that means that they just play the patience game, they draw out the ultimates, and then they successfully use the Nano Blade combo in conjunction with the Zarya ult as well to clean up the members and go ahead and start this push.
You say like nano and then something else just makes it seem kind of tiny, like a Genji is slicing people with a really, really tiny sword. Gets him with a nano blade. So Myungun comes in with his nano blade, looking for a few onto Envyus, but they've got that sound barrier to keep him safe. Doesn't stop him from getting two, but the kills even up so far in this push. Envyus loses one more though, and they may be stalled out a bit. The payload's still rolling for the moment anyway.
Trying to get it through this gate, and tempting time move.
Back off now.
Yeah, has to go into the Wraith form. Very even fight to start things off, and Hulk going to keep this moving by going ahead and popping the Primal Rage as his allies come back.
Yeah, I think that's fine. The spawn is really close to the payload at this point still for Envyus. They're going to drop the Nano Boost onto Taimu now as they go in and just keep trying to push this one forward. Reactive sound barrier comes in from T6 to prevent Taimu from getting too many kills on that Reaper, but
that was actually
we'll keep the push going.
That was a huge waste of the sound barrier. They actually timed that pretty poorly because at the end of the day, Taimu got a later Nano Boost, and after and as it was falling away, was able to chase them down with the speed granted by the Nano Boost in the first place.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have that ultimate up now for this final hold on the first push point on this map.
Oh, here we go. Internet Hulk going deep. The Graviton Surge used. You saw it. Liz trying to get in there with the Nano Boost. He's got the ultimate. Just one more left click. There it is. Going after the Ana first. Going to decide to just drop the ultimate. Picks up a couple. And that's going to be a decent hold for T6 on the bridge. See what Internet Hulk can do. Trying to knock Reaper off, but not quite able to find the angle there. Harry Hook and Internet Hulk backing off.
Internet Hulk just keeping that payload there, keeping the presence, and keeping the payload moving forward multiple times on this map by use of that Primal Rage. Second time that even though his team's been wiped, that ultimate has been useful in maintaining pressure very far forward. So they're resetting now. Tailspin is going to be on the Tracer.
Swapping over, yep. And the push continues. Nano Boots onto Taimu. He's going to get hit with the sleep dart right away, though. Youngren pulls out the Dragon Blade, going after Harry Hook right away. Looking for the kill on that Lucio. Doesn't quite find it. Meanwhile, the response comes in from Envyus, and this is a team fight going to the red team as Taimu pushes the rest of T6 back into the castle. Have fun storming the castle.
This is the part that most people don't like very much about this map. If you don't get a strong initial push here, you can get stalled out really hard in the little doorways to the right and left once the portcullis comes down. So that's why we see Envy pushing very aggressively forward right now. Got to make this work, and they don't really have much in the way of ultimates to do it.
All right, Nano Boost. Kamsu looking for a pick with the Earth Shatter. Can't quite find it, though. Liz the one doing the damage on that Reaper. Gets the one onto Coco, who's on that Zarya now. Looks like this push will be stalled out despite the kills coming in from Tailspin. Need to be careful there, yep.
Tailspin has to back out. He did get a couple of kills with the Pulse Bomb. He's trying to duel right now,
that's
but
dangerous.
It's a hard place to get in there. Immediately uses the recall, then dashes straight back out the door. Did pick up the health pack.
Yeah.
And this is an excellent position for Conbox T6 to be in right now. They've got a great defensive ultimate with the sound barrier.
Here we go. Nano Blossom gets 2 already, gets 3, and this is what Envyus was looking for to keep this push going. In the castle, finds the Hell in the back line and brings it to him. Taimu, with a little bit of help from Tailspin, it cleans up Conbox T6, and they are nearing the end here.
I mean, they had the sound barrier available in order to try and counter that, so basically a freebie there from Envyus as they get in. Pulse Bomb going to take out Gamsu.
Have a bomb. They drop the sound barrier now, but it's a little bit too late. That Pulse Bomb doing work for Envyus. Primal Rage popped for Internet Hulk, and that'll just keep people off the payload, ideally, as Envyus continues, and it looks like they're going to finish it right here. Oh, Blizzard comes in as they send the Hell in on Ana for just a moment. Blizzard forces people out. Gamsu with the charge, and they're going to take him down, and that is going to be the map. Envyus able to push it all the way to the end.
Yeah, minute 12 remaining here for Envyus. Last-ditch effort on the Blizzard right at the end of the point, but sound barrier up for Envy, able to drop that and prevent the follow-up damage from getting any pickoffs onto the Frozen members, so they get the final shove in right there.
The Frozen Members was the name of my punk rock band in high school, actually. How did you know? That's eerie. The similarity.
It does sound like a punk rock band. I will give you that.
Especially because I am from Minnesota, so it does work.
What was your logo for the Frozen members, though? That's the real question. How punk rock were you?
It's not broadcast appropriate. I'm sorry. We have to stop the conversation there. You know, every time I look at the castle on this map, I keep feeling like I'm going to run into my Diablo 3 character here.
It is highly reminiscent, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah. Yep. This my high school days, rocking out with the other members of the Frozen members.
I don't know what that says about you,
That's, hey, we just rocked hard, you know? What can you say?
Envy going for a triple tank composition with a Mei here. Highly defensive. Not a lot to work with if Conbox T6 decides to go for a lot of long range, but we just haven't seen that out of them so far. Myunghoon really liking to stick to the Genji so far in this matchup, and if they're expecting more Genji and Tracer, this composition is very well equipped to deal with them at low range. Have the hooks, you've got the ability to freeze them with the Mei, and they're so tanky that it's going to be very difficult for a Tracer to work through them quickly. So I like what we're seeing here. I think it's a good adaptation from Envy, saying if you're not going to play far, if you're not going to play McCree, if you're not going to play these more long-distance heroes, we're okay with that. We'll brawl with you in the trenches.
True enough. And so Envyus looking for that hold here. See if they can get it as the map begins.
Throwing the biotic grenade.
Yeah, why not?
Towards the top side immediately. Liz taking some damage that will buy them a little bit of time as they have to wait for it to go away. They can go ahead and heal Liz up.
Myunghoon just looking for a little bit of ult charge with that left click, throwing the shurikens. And powering up that nano boost, as we heard. And here we go, the push begins. Zunba running in there on the Zarya. Myunghoon on the side with the flank, gonna avoid that Reinhardt as he goes back behind the wall from Mei. But Envyus, as you can see, already pushing T6 back to spawn nearly.
An immediate kill onto Liz's Tracer right there. It is difficult for a Tracer to be able to deal with this, to get in close to maximize your damage against these heroes that chew you up at such close ranges. And that's a hook, not going to pull around the box though.
Well, you never know where that road hook is going to come from or go through. Anaboost on the Gamsu though. Gets held up for just a moment. Liz picks up the kill though on the Chips High-End. Yeah, it was so good with the Dragon Blade.
Was a one-man ultimate there from the Zarya though, and now the defensive ult comes in, but he's going to wait it out with the Dragon Blade.
Boy, and it could be a big Dragon Blade too. Oh, I thought it was going to be a big one, but not able to find the targets after this one gets frozen by the Blizzard from Tailspin. And Envyus going to hold point A pretty well.
Yeah, again, yes, they can come in like that, Doa, but they used the Zarya ult very early, and they only got a pick off on the Chips High-End. And then when they dove in, Blizzard immediately down onto the point, and they chased the Genji down, only picking up one other kill. So we're not seeing any adaptation here either from Conbox T6. I think they have to mix it up right now. They're just getting picked off every time they go in.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Taimu take this position on Eichenwald before with the Roadhog, and if you're playing defense on this map, it's certainly a good one. Gets the pick onto Liz right off the bat. Man, not a good start for T6 on their push already. Has the whole hog in case he needs it, but doesn't look like they will. Conbox T6 not really making any headway against Envyus now. And remember, this was Conbox T6's map pick. They wanted to play on Eichenwald, and they can't even take point A right now.
They need to make a change, Doa. I think so too. Biggest factor right now is that they're just getting outplayed. Time is just going to stand there every time.
And how do you dislodge him with what T6 has? I mean, you need to do something like, well, I don't even know, because you can't really even send the Winston out there without a Zarya shield. And
all right, I do like the fact they changed to the Reaper, who's able to deal with these tanks at close range more effectively than the Genji is, and you at least have a more of an escape mechanism with the Wraith form. So they've got something that can burst down these very large targets, but they have to be able to get it in there. And is it too late now, Doa? Because he's at 12% ult charge, so the Beyblade's not going to be showing up anytime soon, and they've only got a minute.
Speed boosts are going to pop the Graviton Surges. Envyus chases, looking for the kill, looking for the follow-up there. Myunghoon has that sound barrier protected as he uses an nano boost to try to claim some kills, but Envyus, the one who's going to come out ahead in this team fight. Myunghoon, goodbye, takes that last right click from Tailspin, and that is going to be yet another win. Hook, no, doesn't quite land it.
Bounces down to low ground there, so out of line of sight. Liz back now onto this Tracer, and Envy, I think, just read Conbox T6 really well, realized what they were doing with some of these other compositions that they saw on the first map, and basically just running over them as they continue to run the Tracer and the Genji.
Down to 15 seconds now. T6 needs to make this push work. It is do or die time. Earthshatter dropped already, but no real follow-up. Envyus falling back to the point. Myunghoon has that Death Blossom in case he needs it. Gonna go in, look for it, getting behind the Reinhardt, pops it. Get some kills. Actually, this could be a push that T6 could turn into a point A take. Wow. And I think they will at the last minute, but now they've got to push all the way to the end with very little time remaining, only getting 2:30 on the clock here.
Yeah, the Reaper just so much more effective on what Envy was running. And now that they see the Reaper successful, Tailspin switches over to the Tracer instantaneously. Taimu now on the McCree. So big switch, and they're going to try and take this high ground with the McCree, rain the shots down with the Peacemaker from above while harassing and attempting to disrupt the backline with the Tracer. So good position here from Envyus, taking the top of the castle immediately and starting to rain down a lot of shots. Taimu on the opposite side. And he's going to be uncontested, really, over here. Myung-hoon actually switching back to the Genji now, so they also make adjustments based on what they're seeing from Envy.
And here we go, Envyus with that high ground. They're going to have to deal with the Winston coming up, and the way they do is they drop the nano boost onto Coco. Then jump down onto C6, gets the kill on the Hell, and he's going to push as many members as he can off of the payload here. Sound barrier for T6. They're going to push back, and Envyus may have to give up a little bit of ground here.
Taimu just raining shots in, and here's Myung-hoon.
Nice
Great
flashbang.
Flick on the flashbang.
Yeah.
Gets the shot. Perfect. Can he take out both DPS members here? Liz manages to zip out, but the High Noon is ready. Deadeye just waiting for the rest of his team, and Taimu doing a great job of playing this McCree from long range.
Oh, that's going to be a dead Winston soon. I meant from old age eventually. Gorillas don't have as long of the lifespan as people, I believe. A little bit less anyway. Looks like that one's going to live to his full lifespan, though. He's just fine.
Depends on which zoo they're in, though.
That's very true. If you're on the moon, things might be even better. Dragon Blade time. They go on the high ground. Myung-hoon looking for some kills, going to scatter Envyus. Oh, that was really close to reflect. Nice sleep dart, though, comes in from Envyus. Taimu looking for kills with Death Blossom.
Big bang.
That was a big pulse bomb from Liz. And the push will continue in a big way from Conbox T6.
Wow.
Team wipe.
Yeah, team wipe right there. And we did see the attempt at the Deadeye coming in, but great counter, just drawing him in with the Graviton Surge and setting up for a big pulse bomb on the high ground.
Yeah, 10 seconds though, so it looks like T6 is going to be pushing this possibly in overtime again as Envyus trying to hold. They want to end it right here, right now. Graviton Surge used on T6, but no follow-up. Internet Hog falls to his death in the meantime. Myung-hoon with a kill onto Coco. The push continues. Liz gets a nice melee finisher, has that pulse bomb yet again, and they are going to get this point.
Yeah, they're going to push it all the way through, and a late kill onto the Tailspin. Envy has no ults to work with right now, though the Nano Boost is coming up soon. Meanwhile, Conbox T6 has 3. This may be a powerful push coming in on the initial attempt here into point number 3.
Well, it's like you were talking about, though, in this point 3. You really need to keep rolling through the whole thing. If you get stalled up, it's hard to continue. They're going to go in with the sound barriers. Envyus tries to defend. They drop the nano boost onto Coco, but Myung-hoon going into the back lines with that Dragon Blade. Kill on the Chipsian already. Finally gets taken out. Envyus not able to stop the payload until right now, but it looks like it will be a full stop for the moment.
That was a clutch hold there from Envy.
It's like it's the start of one.
Yeah, they're going to get a pretty good ult economy advantage out of that too.
Yeah.
The Hell's got the nano boost, but Envy should be able to weather that one out once Harry Hook gets the sound barrier up.
Sounded like you're confused. You're like, the Hell's got the nano boost.
It's one of those player names, though. Just one of those player names.
We'll see who the hell's going to get the nano boost.
You mean who the hell gives the nano boost?
The hell's got the nano boost. Well, we know who the hell's got the Tobal scene as Envyus drops theirs. Doesn't catch a whole lot with it, though. Taimu on the side still has that Death Blossom to work with. Finds the Hell, and there he goes. So Envyus, I think they've got the hold they need here. We will see. Comes in, Death Blossom used. Another kill for Taimu. Blizzard dropped as well, and Zunba caught in it. That is going to be a hold, and that means Envyus takes Eichenwald.
Yeah, 3-2 there from Envyus. Got a little bit worried there at the end. They trying to fight at the end of that second point can be a little bit tricky because you run the risk of giving your opponent a sort of free push deep into the third point.
Yeah. If
you mess that up, but they do manage to stabilize in spite of having fewer ultimates to work with as the door was battered down. They will go up 2-0 in this series nonetheless.
Harry Hook looks like he's about to fall asleep. But
I really like what we saw from Envyus on that first point. They have a good read on T6. Feels like the composition worked exceptionally well against the Genji and the Tracer opener, and I think T6 was a bit stubborn there, Dylan. I think they should have switched over to that Reaper much sooner on that point than they did.
Well, I mean, what we're seeing from the most successful Overwatch teams right now is the adaptability that you need in situations like that. You got to be able to change heroes on the fly. It's a huge part of the game.
Yeah. Definitely huge. And Liz,
Speaking of huge,
I mean, this was a beautiful play and a highlight here from Conbox T6. That's just a wonderful setup, and made it so easy too, because the Graviton Surge was placed on the outside edge of the bridge. So just pulling everybody right into the open, even if they hadn't had a pulse bomb, makes it very easy to get damage on them from that position.
Sure enough. So we're going to take a quick break, guys, and when we come back, we'll see if Envyus can close it out with a 3-0 or if Conbox T6 can come back, get a bit of momentum going in this best of 5 here on the Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break.
시간 가속기도 만들었는데 이 정도쯤이야. 오버워치 요원, 오버워치 요원 여러분. 아, 이게 아닌가? 오버워치의 옛 요원 여러분, 윈스턴입니다. 당연한 소리라. 30년 전 옴닉은 전쟁을 일으켰어. 속수무책으로 당하던 세계는 영웅들을 소집해 작은 단체를 꾸립니다. 그렇게 옴닉 사태로부터 인류를 구하기 위해 오버워치가 결성됐지요. 우린 역사상 가장 위대한 평화의 수호자이자 번영의 상징이었습니다. 당신이 선택됐던 이유는 그만한 힘과 능력이 있었기 때문에, 당신이 싸웠던 이유는 이미 아시는 얘기죠. 네, 사람들은 우리 없이 살기로 결정했어요. 심지어 우리가 범죄자라며 우리 조직을 해체시켰죠. 하지만 보세, 누군가 나서야 해요. 우리가 나서야 한다고요. 우리가 바로잡을 수 있어요. 세상에 우리가 필요합니다. 지금 당장. 함께 하실 거죠?
노력은 선수를 만들고 코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다.
And welcome back to Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1. Envyus up 2-0 over Conbox T6. And, it doesn't look like things are going to change too much. And I feel like we're seeing the same thing we saw initially from T6 as well, where there is obviously some individual talent there, but the coordination is what's really kind of holding these guys back, and maybe a bit of adaptability as well.
Yeah, and the individual talent definitely there in that last play. And sorry, guys, we missed it when it happened. Saw it in the replay, but it was the reflected Zarya ult that allowed the Big Bang to be set up. But I think that really does say a lot about the skill that Conbox C6 had, because the reaction to get the Big Bang down on the reflected Zarya ultimate was instantaneous from Conbox and allowed them to push through to that second point. So just great reaction time from them right there.
Well, especially in the case of Liz, who was able to see that and get in and put down the ball spot too, right?
Yeah, the reaction there was really, really good on the setup. So apologies, guys. Missed that the first time around.
Happens once in a while. So, moving on to Volskaya. See if T6 can take that individual talent and turn into a little bit more as they try to come back against Envyus, who's on the verge of winning in this best of 5. Let's go to Volskaya. Here we go, back to the land of unfinished giant robots. Not nearly as finished as finished giant robots. Less fun as well.
Certainly a lot less fun. Well, Conbox T6 going to be starting out with the Genji and the Tracer combo that they have preferred. Once again, Gamsu still sticking to that Winston. And Envy was able to pick that apart with their triple tank plus Mei composition.
The other thing to consider here is we see Taimu on the Widowmaker, and he did use Widowmaker on offense on this map last match and used it to great effect too.
Well, should be a little bit more challenging here because they are going to have a lot of control over the high ground with the Winston and the Genji. So it might not be as much of a shooting gallery if we are going to see Taimu stick on the Widowmaker. But he did hit a ridiculous number of headshots by getting up onto the high ground at that first point.
Kind of seems like Envyus might be expecting a triple tank here if they stick with this.
Well, just look at the mobility that they're going for. It's not only the Genji, the Tracer, and the Winston that can leap up onto that high ground. They've got the Widowmaker too, so 4 people can instantly get up onto the top side, so they can outnumber Conbox T6 on the left side high ground if they go for it.
Yep. Just taking a look, seeing what Taimu can see. Sees Zarya with a shield though, and now the cat's out of the bag. They know the Widowmaker's in play. Looking for a kill. Oh, takes off Myunghoon, and this is what we expected. They're able to handle the Widowmaker at least. Liz getting in the back there with Gamsu, but kill came in anyway, and Conbox T6 losing a little bit of percentage to Envyus. as Tailspin picks one up as well.
Well, this is one of those things that only Envyus can do, right?
Yeah.
They're one of the few teams that can run Harry Hook on a hit scan, either Soldier or Tracer, go for only one support coming in, and then just try and quickly destroy the opposition. So this one pick is enough right there to allow the rest of Envyus to overpower them for a very fast point A. And they're just going to keep on rolling here. Taimu's sticking on the Widowmaker. He did switch off Widowmaker the last time they played on this point.
Yeah, he's expecting to find a little bit more. We'll see if he can. Oh, nice headshot right, better, almost headshot rather, onto the Winston. Just taking chunks out of the enemy team, and wow, getting very low down to 3 health though. He's got to be a little bit careful here. Never mind, gets the kill on the Hell. Nano boost to use on Tailspin. They're going to try to take the point right here, getting a little bit of percentage already. Tailspin not really finding any victims as Conbox T6 wisely backs away. Internet Hulk does get the kill on the Zarya though. Youngin responds with the kill onto Coco on that Lucio. Switching over to that.
Yeah,
Tailspin has to back off now.
Yeah, he needs to get out right here. And he is going to fall pretty quickly. Taimu has an ultimate available, but has to get out of there as the Winston just jumps on top of him. Gamsu doing work to just zone him out, and Harry drops the pulse bomb right there, but doesn't pick up much for it as Gamsu able to get back and out of the way. So pretty big advantage now from Conbox T6. They will have the Nano Blade combination to defend right here, and guess what? That Widowmaker roll not going to be very helpful. It's going to come down to Taimu hitting some very good shots if they want to keep the offensive up.
Harry Hook jumping right down onto the Winston, and Youngin looking for targets with that nano boost, but not really finding anybody. Kind of a wasted 2 ultimates there from Conbox T6. We'll see if Envyus can capitalize. They have to get through the sound barrier though. Sound barrier used by them as well. It's going to wear off for both teams now. Internet Hulk uses that Primal Rage, manages to find some kills. Kills coming on each side. Looks like T6 is going to be able to hold the point for the moment at least.
Liz trying to hunt down Tailspin right there and finally manages to make it work. Reflect on cooldown, so no more defense, but Internet Hulk will run him down right thereafter. But Conbox holding on for the moment. Looked a bit dicey there as Myunghoon went hunting in the back lines on the nano-boosted Dragon Blade. Couldn't get much going though as everybody had sort of run forward on the side of Envyus. Harry Hook coming from around the side. Taimu now on the Reaper, much better pick.
Yeah, swapped over after that last death on Widowmaker. Definitely a good idea. But man, talk about crazy versatility when your main Lucio can switch over to Tracer, and then one of your tanks jumps onto Lucio.
Just envy things, man.
Yeah, seriously. Giant has a nano boost to use as Envyus goes in, can use it. Oh, gets Graviton Surge though. Harry Hook with a kill on the Hell right off the bat, but looks like it might be a good start for Conbox T6. We'll see if Tailspin can turn things around. One target with the Dragon Blade found. Internet Hulk picks up another one himself. Envyus getting some presence on the point, but it looks like they're going to have to back away again as Zumba gets that kill.
I wonder how much longer they're going to go for Harry Hook on this Tracer. Coco is going to be
time to swap.
Yeah, Coco's going to be on that Lucio though, so maybe trying to look for another tank coming in here right now. Tailspin is hopping onto the Roadhog in response. So this is more similar to what they were doing on Eichenwald, just trying to load up on high damage, short range heroes in order to get the necessary burst and picks down to deal with the Tracer and the Genji.
Yeah. And we have been seeing a little bit more experimentation from Envyus in the recent past. Oh, left click not connecting there. Liz able to recall out of there.
There's the Dragon Blade coming up, not going to be used.
Not quite yet, no.
It looked a bit preemptive there on the Nano Blade. The charge for the Dragon Blade came through in the middle.
Well, Liz got some damage down with that Pulse Bomb, able to at least take out Tailspin in the back lines. And that should be enough for Conbox C6, yeah, to push back Envyus for the moment anyway. Do use that Primal Rage on Gamsu as well.
Same Taimu abandoning the Reaper there, trying to just fire in from the back of the point.
I mean, the second point on Volskaya is such a brawl. It's so hard to take, and usually ends up just being a result of some solo queue heroing that ends up deciding it.
Well, at least you have the Flashbang now, again, to deal with the Genji and to deal with the Tracer. They push backwards, and Pulse Bomb gonna go down. Taimu comes in.
Oh, gets one, gets Anna, and that could be big. They're gonna use the sound barrier as well. Good kill from Taimu onto Liz. Walking in now with the McCree. Harry Hook, oh wow. Never mind, it was a hook, but it was not Harry Hook. Tailspin gets the kill on the Myunghoon, and this is what Envyus has been looking for.
Well, getting the Ana right off the bat, considering that she had the nano boost up, was the really key pick that Envy needed in order to start rolling up this fight. Now they've got to clean it up, though, and there is going to be a nano boosted Zarya jumping at the McCree.
Taimu getting a couple of headshots, so might be able to finish her off. So close. Internet Hulk helping out. He gets the kill, though. Envyus not even getting that first tick. We'll see if they can get back on the point now. Yeah, there we go. So that's a little bit of progress made anyway, but again, the spawn point on this map for the defense is so close. It takes a lot to take this point.
Zoning Deadeye right now. See if anybody's going to be walking that point, and it'll be one, and that will be Zunba falling.
Yeah, Graviton Surge used though, but again, no follow-up. Whoa,
no, the Big Bang was there for them, so right there, they managed to last it out long enough. They get the Zarya and the Tracer ult in on the point, so they are actually going to hold here. Still 2 minutes to work with for Envy, but they blew a lot of meter on that last push.
Envyus does have 2 ticks on this point, so they don't need to hold it for a whole lot of time to take this map.
It's just so hard to get a win through a Winston with a Primal Rage on this point, though. If you're pushing, resetting his health bar, and then having him knock everybody off of it. So it's going to be Envy trying to charge up here for quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
Got to do something with this nano boost once it comes through. Nice hunting there in the back line by Gamsu, really harassing Chips.
Yeah, Chips Hyan needs to be careful here. Backs away, stays alive for the moment. A couple of kills coming in, though, on each side, and Envyus is going to need a little bit more than this to take this point. There goes Harry Hook, and Envyus really seeming to kind of run out of steam here.
Absolutely. So Coco did eventually end up switching over to that Reinhardt right now. Harry Hook back on the Lucio, so back to more of a standard composition here from Envyus. May have been a little bit overconfident. Worked on the first point, but they got stuffed pretty hard on point number 2, and I think they overcommitted to having that Tracer.
Yeah. Well, and again, you've got time to experiment here. You're up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, Beyblade's ready, though, for Conbox T6. And Gamsu goes down!
Wow, Deadeye, though, used. Doesn't get any kills. Taimu comes in anyway. Without that, Winston might be tough. Envyus trying to make a play here. Myunghoon pushed out. Nano boost on that Reaper, but they've got Coco right there on the Reinhardt. Still, though, it doesn't stop T6 from able to get a couple kills, and that's enough to push Envyus back.
Wow, that looked disastrous at the start for Envy, right? Or for
T6.
For T6 right there, because the initial pickoff onto Gamsu before he could even pop his ultimate, and the fact that they shut down the Reaper so quickly, but that's going to be it, and T6 actually got a hold on that second point.
All right, so the pressure onto Envyus now to hold at least on point B and force another round here on Volskaya Industries, but T6 showing a little bit of life now, this best of 5.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too cute there, Doa, putting Coco on the Lucio, Harry Hook on the Tracer, and at the end, only at the very end of that point, switching over to their, I would say, more practiced roles when it comes to their scrims and their professional play. Try and push it out.
Yeah. We'll see if they switch to something a little bit more standard here on the defense. I would imagine they probably will. Because that's the thing, is that T6, yeah, they lost the first 2 maps, but they are a good enough team that I don't think you can really play too out of the box against them right now.
Especially when Envy was so successful on the first point in Eichenwald. Coming in against the Tracer and the Genji. We know they have the tools to deal with it efficiently, but they only swapped over to those tools very late on in the push, and couldn't quite match the ult economy of T6 that late in the round. So gonna have to be some heroics now, and we are going to see exactly what we thought we would, Doa. Same stuff against Myunghoon and Liz with the Genji and the Tracer. So they're going back to what works. So T6 on the other hand, we shall see if the Hell is actually going to stay on the Reaper, and perhaps they will go for a single support composition. Nope, gonna switch over to the Ana. So this has been the bread and butter Conbox T6 strat today. Dive deep into the back line, get the Big Bang down, or get a shield onto a nano-boosted Genji, and this has been the composition that Envyus has been most successful in dealing with it.
That's right. And so, T6 coming in, we'll see what they can get going. And they're in a good position, too, because it's not often that you see a full hold on point A on Volskaya Industries, so at least T6 should be able to keep this map going. If not, take it all the way if they're able to grab point B.
So,
Oh, that one didn't land.
Yeah. do see Envy pushing up very far forward here, but considering they are a tanky low-range composition, you can defend right at the choke point, but have to fall back to the point now. Coco actually going to find Liz with a Fire Strike.
Yeah, I was going to say, Liz seemed to be doing a lot of work in the back lines, but it looks like Envyus able to mitigate that. Tailspin onto the Reaper now. Sleep Dart. Oh, Road Dogg will just take a little bit of a battle nap there.
Right in the front line,
He's
no
not,
problem.
he shouldn't really be too worried about it.
Conbox T6 is resetting anyway, so Sleep Dart not going to be doing much of anything at all, and they push back forward. Is Pulse Bomb ready, and the still working up, and they have the sound barrier.
There we go, Gamsu going deep with that Winston, has to back away. Oh, he got pinned. Internet Hulk gets a kill on the Gamsu on the way. Coco actually, I think he went right off the edge of the map. Whoops.
Yes, he definitely did. Charged backwards.
Nano boost onto Tailspin now as they try to defend this one short-handed. They have the sound barrier as well. Graviton Surge, though, keeps Tailspin locked up for the moment. Has to go Wraith for him. Envyus able to get one kill with Internet Hulk. Liz does go down. Internet Hulk kind of single-handedly getting Envyus back into this fight defensively, but it's not over yet. Zunba turns things around, gets the kill onto the opposing Zarya. There goes Tailspin. And Conbox T6 in a great spot to take point A.
Really unfortunate that Coco went off the back of the map right there because they had such a good initial pick. But once they found themselves on even footing, they got overrun by Conbox T6. And we saw Myung-hoon popping the Dragon Blade towards the end of the sound barrier there from Harry Hook and able to overpower them in the end. So,
yeah.
Envyus has a Graviton Surge to work with and the Death Blossom, so they can group people up and hit a high damage combination if they overextend.
Gamsu going deep, pops that Primal Rage right away. Tailspin drops very, very quickly. A kill on each side, though. Liz gets the sound barrier as she tries to take out Taimu. And there's the Pulse Bomb. Doesn't need it, though. Drops on the... Oh, there drops on the Roadhog. That's 2 already for T6. This might be enough. Internet Hulk somehow getting pushed off the map there, maybe taking himself out as well. Envyus having a rough time of it here on point B, and if T6 can take this, they'll take their first map.
Yeah, it's looking really good. Liz has just been going off. They already nano-boosted Gamsu to try and take this point. So it's desperation mode for Envyus right now, switching to the Mei, coming in with Chips Hyan on the Tracer to keep this alive. D.Va now in play for Internet Hulk.
Now the desperation D.Va comes in for Envyus as they try to hold this. Gamsu with that Primal Rage up yet again. Should be able to push some of Envyus off the point. 2 ticks already for Conbox T6. But Envyus seems to maybe be stabilizing Myung-hoon, who's trying to turn that around with the Dragon Blade, though. Takes out Chips Hyan on that Tracer. Definitely desperation mode from Envyus now. Graviton Surge does go down. Sound barrier again coming in for Conbox T6 as we see the Reinhardt getting bounced around. Liz nearly back up to another Pulse Bomb here. And they've got Coco zoned out. Looks like this may be it. T6 cleaning up the rest of the Envyus team.
There you go, Pulse Bomb right onto the Lucio. Good stick right there, but the D.Va's back yet again and using the ultimate. Meanwhile, Blizzard's also going to come down.
Internet Hulk did get Oboroshi there, but won't last too long, it looks like, in the mech suit. There it goes. And Envyus barely holding on right now. Oh, the kill's coming in, though, again for T6. This has been such a long, protracted fight. As the spawns have gotten split for both sides pretty majorly here.
I mean, if you're good at staggering these engages, all these dashes, high survivability heroes, but that's going to be it. So 2-1. Finally able to grind it out. Conbox T6. In spite of the Winstons and the Meis, the D.Vas, the Tracers, all pouring into the point one for one.
That was grinding it out in every sense of the word. And yeah, you go for those desperation heroes at the end there, but you know, unless you can keep the fight kind of consistently going and sort of chip away at the offense, you never have time to switch back to a more stable composition after that initial desperation swap. So T6 able to hold on, take point B, and we're going to a 4th map. I gotta say, after the first 2, I wasn't expecting that.
I do think Envy got cocky. I really like their strategy on point number 1, but they knew what to do on point number 2. They had played better, running the high damage, low range composition against the Tracer and the Genji, and they just very late in trying to switch to it. Overcommitment to Harry Hook
they're gonna go to
on the Tracer, and then the Widowmaker for Taimu. And it's going to be Dorado, a map we really haven't seen a whole lot of so far in Apex.
Yeah. And of course, everybody remembers the famous Dorado hold by Envyus against Mode 7. No doubt wanting to recreate that today, but kind of hard to make that happen. You don't even defend there really anymore. I'd be surprised if they tried to defend that far up against T6, especially with what we just saw. That'd be pretty risky. So. We will see. They've got their serious faces on now.
Yeah, I'm curious what Envy's going to bring out on offense on this map. We'll see which side they are going to end up starting on here.
As we go into Dorado once again, Envyus still on match point. Try and close out the series. We'll see if T6 can complete the comeback and force a tie-breaking Game 5. Good start for them on Volskaya. Let's get Dorado and see who takes it. All right, welcome to Dorado.
Battleground.
Land of dudes with
Dorado.
black light, glow-in-the-dark tattoos, which are pretty cool, actually.
Fancy electric ziggurats.
Would you get a glow-in-the-dark tattoo?
I'd get a.
It only appears at night?
I'd get a fancy electric ziggurat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd rather have one of those than a glow-in-the-dark tattoo. I don't think I need a neon skull on my face, though.
I wouldn't get a skull. I don't know what I'd get.
A pony.
Maybe. A pony?
An electric pink pony.
Not my first choice. I gotta be honest. I would get like a little Super Mario that was like normal color during the day, and then at night you'd like turn to Big Mario.
Wouldn't you get like a lightsaber handle where the blade only appeared at night?
That's a good idea. Oh, now I'm actually getting interested in this. That's brilliant.
I know you so well, Della.
Well, you know, next year my birthday is appears. You know, I'll be expecting that.
Okay. I'll work on that. I'll work on that for you.
Just so you know, let you know early.
All right. Well, you're going to be on the Reaper here.
For the moment, anyway.
Yeah, for the moment. So not committing to the Genji right away. Gamsu shying away from that Winston, of course. Having the Reinhardt in the choke point, in the market right on the first point. Pretty much mandatory on defense on this map. Taimu going to pop out with the Widowmaker first, though. And they're going to go for the Pharmacy combo.
Gets a kill on, or not the kill, gets a hit on the Hell anyway, but not able to claim any of those early sort of cheesy Widowmaker kills. Tailspin again on that Pharah.
Yeah, it's something that we've seen become more popular. Did see Rogue start to pull this out in the finals against Lunatic High, and Tailspin, one of the most renowned Pharah players in the world.
This is certainly a little bit more of a classic way to use it along with that Mercy. We saw Rogue get away with the Pharah with not even bothering to bring the Mercy at the same time. But either way, it's a strong combo and something Envyus has been doing a lot for a long, long time. Time to go on the Road Dog. Switching over. Oh, nearly gets a kill there. Gets pinned, though. Gamsu swapping over to him. He's got the nano boost, but down to just 30 health. He's got to back away.
Well, they couldn't finish it off, even though the Bionic Grenade was on him. No healing possible, but they still can't quite get the kill. Harry Hook going to be the next one to fall, but Tailspin does take out Myunghoon from the top right there, just floating on top of the buildings, using that roof to stay up.
So I wonder if we are going to see the nano boost used a bit later on Tailspin. We have seen it. Yeah, there it is on the far right away. This is what they've been doing a lot of lately. Has a barrage available. Oh! Starts to use it, gets slept immediately, and that's the end of that. Envyus still struggling to push his payload.
And now the reverse nano boost going to come through. Gamsu pushing forward through the arch. Oparochi going to take out Pharah in mid-flight. Chips on the run now. And that's going to be a nice defense. At least they use the whole hog to push the Reinhardt back and keep a few members of the team alive. But this is a great hold coming in from T6 so far.
I don't even know about that whole hog there, man. I mean, I think you could have just accepted that you were getting pushed back to spawn and saved that for trying to take point B here. They do have the Earth Shatter with Coco, and they still do have Tailspin doing damage from above, and he's nearly got the barrage back again.
I mean, it's been amazing Conbox T6 has actually been able to hold this, because they have nothing really to deal with this far.
Right, Graviton Surge, and there's the barrage used as well, and that's the combo they were looking for. Nano Boost gets onto the Pharah, but he's going to take a nap again. Still a decent start for Envyus, and they will push this payload.
Oh, nice job. Hook straight into the Earth Shatter, so chaining the CC, shutting down the Nano Boosted Reaper immediately. Finally, they get what they were looking for right there, and yeah, I think Conbox getting a little cocky. You need some sort of McCree or something in order to deal with this.
Yeah.
Pharah, you have to have a tool that isn't something that's so incredibly short range. They don't even have a Roadhog hook here to pull her out of the sky.
Tailspin does dislodge Coco, or rather dislodge Gamsu from the high ground there. That could have been dangerous for T6, but Envyus not ready to go for the push just yet, as they had to wait for the payload there. Yeah, Tailspin doing a good job of just getting the Reinhardt off the high ground, because it does take a while to walk back up there again.
Incredibly annoying. And there's a nice grab. Taimu jumping from the side. Tailspin
Nice
finishes him off as the hook pulls Zunba over the edge. But you know, this Pharah is actually perfect from what we've seen from Conbox, because we really haven't seen them play McCree.
Yeah, very true. And again, I just think Tailspin's been doing a good job of dislodging T6 from the high ground. That's let them push quite far. Can T6 turn it around? Oh, Myunghoon gets grabbed by Taimu, taken out there. Earthshatter comes in, Tailspin able to avoid it. The Z, it looks like. Things still going well for Envyus for the moment anyway. Tailspin getting ever closer to that barrage. And again, Zunba gets the nano boost onto the Zarya. He's going to have to back away though, so that's going to be an ultimate that's not going to be too helpful.
He couldn't even combo it with the Zarya ultimate right there.
Yeah.
Because he got pushed off of the payload, so a bit of a wash there on the nano boost.
Now Liz resets with the Tracer. We'll see if maybe he'll switch to something else here. The Hell taken out. Tailspin's just been wrecking him with this Pharah, and I think Envyus has found something that T6 is certainly not ready to handle. Now the McCree switch.
Yeah, why now?
It's a little bit late, man.
This is another time where we talked about T6 maybe being a little bit late on some of these swaps or reacting to Envyus' composition, and they've let this payload get all the way creeping towards the end of the third point before they even have anything at all that can deal with the Pharah.
Yeah, Tailspin going back to have to defend his team, drops a barrage, takes out Gamsu before being taken out himself. Myunghoon gets a nice Death Blossom here, and Envyus may be stalled out. Looks like they will be. And so now I think we're probably going to see that Pharah go to something else for Envyus as Myunghoon just continues pushing them out the door. Well, looks like they're going to stick with it for the moment.
Yeah, pretty late kill there onto Taimu, so that's going to delay Envyus on their next push. They do have the nano boost and the Earth Shatter available for the push. We'll see if they decide to nano boost the Pharah after trying to get the Earth Shatter down on a few members. High ground taken by Conbox T6. Nice biotic grenade right there. They're just slowing him down with the damage onto the Pharah.
Coco coming in now. He's got the Earth Shatter available. The charge attempt as Gamsu comes in on their Reinhardt. He's got that nano boost, and he's bowling his way through the Envyus team. Bowling, whatever. Yeah,
really good
Same
res
thing.
there by Harry Hook, though, to actually counteract the nano boosted Reinhardt. So that's going to allow Envyus to immediately return. Mercy proving pretty clutch, and Tailspin winning the duel with the McCree, and now he has been unleashed once again with that barrage. Has a chance here to use it in a choke point as they try and stream in to the third and final point here on Dorado. Very nice, gets a sneaky angle, and here we go.
Sound barrier barrage comes in. And Pharah does not last long there.
Wow, Zunba actually got the kill, looked like with a right click right there onto, and there's a rocket jump right over the side.
Okay, there the res comes in from Harry Hook though. This is what they have the Mercy for. Not going to stop Myunghoon from picking up the kills though, and Envyus stopped yet again.
Not enough though with the Death Blossom still up on the revive. So Envyus has been stalled out. Zunba and Internet Hulk, both Zaryas with ultimates available, but Nano Boost up again for Conbox T6, and they're going to push aggressively here. Even though there's still a minute and a half left, they're pushing out pretty far.
Yeah. Sticking with that Pharah and Tailspin yet again. They used the Nano Boost pretty early on in that last fight.
I mean, Liz switched back to the Tracer here, so the Pharah should be effective once again. He was winning those duels with the McCree just a little bit anyway, so.
See, Internet Hulk with the Graviton Surge, so they're fairly ready here. Decent push, there's a Graviton Surge. Yuzo, Gamsu response, Reinhardt versus Reinhardt, though they both get knocked down. Tailspin with one kill, Nano Boost now onto Gamsu as he charges into the back lines. Internet Hulk very, very low. Manages to pick off Gamsu, though. Taimu gets that kill. Still pretty even up, and T6 defending yet again. Envyus having a really hard time here on the third point.
Yeah, Myunghoon just pushing through there on the Reaper, so the later Nano Boost came in onto the Coco, or the Reinhardt of Coco, but got shut down in the face of all that damage from the Zarya and the Reaper in that tiny corridor.
Well, Taimu got a bit split spawn too, so that's going to slow things down. With only 25 seconds left, this is the last push for Envyus. They need to make this work.
Yeah, Tailspin. Now he is here, switched it up, finally, is going to be on the Tracer.
felt like maybe they would have been benefited by doing that a little bit earlier. He does.
I don't know. I think it was working, Noah.
Sound barrier onto T6. They try to make one last defense. Taimu looking for a kill. Up to the Zarya. Younghoon pops that Death Blossom. And this Deadeye better be big. Tailspin getting a couple kills though. Drops a Pulse Bomb. Taimu with another one. They might actually be able to finish this one off. Harry Hook even getting one on the opposing support. And they are rolling towards the end of this one. That's going to be it. They finish it in overtime. Barely getting the job done on Dorado.
Yeah, very close right there. I am really surprised that T6 lasted as long as they did against that Vara, but pretty delayed switch right there. Even with all that open space and the high ground advantage that they had on defense on point number 2, just very stubborn about how to deal with Tailspin's Pharah. And when you play Envy, you always have to have a plan against Pharah because Tailspin will play it if there's going to be a point where he thinks you're vulnerable to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still good final hold, though, forcing it into overtime. Yeah, not too shabby.
Well, if you're gonna lose all 3 points to the opposing team, at least make sure you do it in overtime. It gives T6 something to work with here, but it's gonna be tough. They need to push it all the way to the end.
All right, so Envyus going to be on defense. Taimu at least showing the Hanzo right now.
Yeah, and I think they may stick with it here. Hanzo's nice on this map defensively because there are a lot of fairly narrow corridors to throw that ultimate down. And again, you pair that with the Graviton Surge, and that's a pretty effective way to defend. So,
well, especially in this choke point here, if you can build up the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Arrow, and
oh,
I guess she's surprised now. She was on camera earlier with her cosplay, but now she's ashamed.
Don't be afraid, other Hanzo. I mean, Envyus really just saying, we want to hold on point A here.
Yeah, so if you can, with the combination of the Reinhardt, able to get that shield up and buy you a lot of time and poke damage from the Hanzo right into that choke point, you build up the Graviton Surge, you build up the Dragon Arrow, and you can hit that combo in, and they're just going for ultimate tankiness. Harry Hook, surprisingly again, see about another hero tonight that isn't going to be a Lucio, opting for a single support. And a hell of a lot of defense right here. So it's going to be all about the ult combos for Envyus.
Yeah, single Ana support is possible, but it needs a really good Ana, and it needs a team that's very well coordinated.
It's also superior when you have a Mei and a Roadhog who can heal themselves, right? So,
of course, yeah.
Certainly makes the job less onerous for Chips. And some poking here. It's going to be a poke war on Reinhardt shields right at the start of this choke point.
Yeah, as it oftentimes is. Everybody backing up now, and Liz trying to come from the side. If he can take out Chips, that could be pretty bad for Envyus.
Try and get the flank here.
Rolling away, and they get him. And this is not a great defense already for Envyus right off the bat, as T6 kind of rolling right through. Now Liz got in the back lines, got the kill early on onto Chips high end, and I think we're going to get to see some swaps. Yeah, right away, Harry Hook going over to Lucio. Another experiment from Envyus, but they're going to go back to something a bit more standard here for point B.
Well, the fact that we saw the very early kill onto Taimu, he was a large part of that damage. So we see the Roadhog and the Hanzo go down early right there. That's all the burst damage. They're trying to get picks, right? They want the initial hook to land into a kill, or the lucky arrow, the skill arrow to land.
Oh, boy.
And that is an absolutely devastating combo. Coco is going to try and deflate the advantage just a little bit by burning out the rest of the nano boost on the charge.
Younghoon lived a long time, but in the end, Envyus able to push back T6 a little bit anyway.
Still maintaining control over that high ground though, so the defense pretty successful there for Envyus in the end, and at least they don't have a nano boost to worry about, nor a Death Blossom any longer.
Zumba has looked really good on this Zarya all night.
Yeah, T6 only has one hero that can easily get to the high ground. Liz is going to try and sneak up there.
Here we go. Let's see if it works out. For the big bang, and he delivers it, but only Chips Iron going down. Gamsu helping out with that one, but there is a slept tailspin in the back lines. It's trading fairly evenly on both sides here. But T6 continues to push here for the moment.
Very slow push here into
now
the second point, and now we see the tanks of Envy able to actually get on top of that payload. Yes, Tailspin died in the backline, but when they turned back, it actually allowed the Reinhardt, Coco, to get into position on the payload to slow it up just a little bit. Younghoon back now, though, and everybody back on the high ground. Early pop on the Primal Rage there from Gomsu, and he's just going to go down all by himself.
Wow, yeah. Myunghoon, meanwhile, trying to clear some people off the payload. Envyus does have the Big Bang available for that, but I think they're probably going to end up saving that, as it looks like they've been able to defend the point already pretty cleanly.
Yeah, I'm surprised Gomsu committed to that. It seems like he just wanted to clog the upper doorway to prevent them from getting control over the high ground while his team pushed, but he died so fast that he didn't actually make it worthwhile.
Yeah. Good focus firing from Envyus. And they've put together a fairly decent hold here on point B. Graviton Surge used. Time move on the side, not seeing a lot from him. Tailspin, they do have the sound barrier on them as well, and that helps Tailspin pick up a couple kills. The team, Envyus, still holding. Really tough to push through this point if you're the offense. And T6 is going to have to reset. Only this time they're going to do it with no ultimates.
Yeah, this is great from Tailspin, chasing down the supports now. How much can he get? Oparochi getting low. Yeah, it's going to have to recall and back off right there before the spawns come in.
Yeah, they've been able to disrupt T6 enough. Such a long run back at this point too for the offense, and just having to go through that narrow choke to get to the payload gives Envyus a really nice defensive advantage. They've got the payload exactly where they want it right now. Ultimate up for Myunghoon. See if he finds an opportunity for that a little bit later.
Gomsu dropping the bubble on the high ground again, but you know, one of the big problems here, though, is that the Winston's really the only hero that's able to get up there quickly.
Taimu finds the pick.
Yeah, or without using a teleport, which is telegraphed and can be shut down if you get caught out using it from the Reaper. So T6 really hasn't had a whole lot of control, and you need to figure out a way to get them off the high ground once you see them come on this bridge right here, and you're trying to push it towards the end of the second point. So Conbox is going to take their time now to get everybody up into the upper level of the church and try and contest it this way. They're tired of running through on the low ground.
Yeah, and I think they're going to see if they can maybe get Myunghoon around the side with that Reaper and see if they can give him a nano boost opportunity here. Yep, Myunghoon coming in now. Ainu, popped by Taimu, looking for the Deadeye, gets the kill onto Gomsu as he again tries to disrupt Envyus.
Just shuts down their push every time, though. Gomsu's too far ahead. They're going to try Beyblade, and they're going to get one.
Myunghoon gets flashbang, but not before he picks up one kill. Gets slept now. Nice dart from Chipsayan. That's going to stop that, at least for the moment. Envyus with time to push T6 back. Pulse Bomb takes out Coco, though. Sound Barrier used. T6 really wanting to complete this push. They're going to drop the Graviton Surge, too, and that is going to be a very clean team fight in favor of T6.
Yeah, surprising after Gomsu initiated that and died so quickly, plus the pretty good shutdown there onto the nano-bladed or nano-boosted Reaper. However, they do get the initial kill onto Taimu. So, able to roll that one through in spite of the sleep as Myunghoon wakes up later to help clean up.
Wow, Chipsayan using the nano boost right away. Envyus really trying to prevent that one, but they're a little bit late to the party. The point taken by T6 anyway, and now they're not going to have that to defend this last part. Now, this is where it gets crazy. This is where the brawling really starts to come into play for both teams here. Envyus with a bit of an ult advantage for the moment anyway, but Conbox with a nice 2 minutes yet to push this payload the rest of the way.
They're so far behind in ult economy, though. Envy's going to have
tough.
They need about a minute here to really, 30 seconds to a minute to really get rolling into a place where they're going to be able to combat Envy. And there's the Zarya ult going right on in.
A Graviton Surge, but doesn't catch a whole lot of people, though. And Envyus needs to be conservative with this ult usage here.
Yeah,
Tailspin stagger it a bit.
Tailspin was looking for the big bang, but he didn't see any really worthy targets in there. Just a single person getting caught out by the Graviton Surge. And now that's a combo that they will have missing for a little bit of time here.
Yeah. Pulse Bomb used. They get the Zarya shield down just in time, I believe. Yeah. And the push continues. Envyus getting a little bit desperate here. Deadeye, we'll see if Taimu can pick up anything. No, he does not. Gets taken out immediately. Myunghoon now gets that Death Blossom as well. This push looking really scary for Envyus. They're already down 2 as a nano boost and Zarya comes in. Internet Hulk trying to turn it around, but Gomsu's the one picking up the kills for T6. And it's looking pretty good for T6 to complete this push. The spawn point very close, though, for Envyus.
And Envy, are they going to start switching over? Tailspin already on the Tracer coming in. Taimu. We're not seeing any big switches here to Divas or anything.
Zumba flanking from the side. Goes down, though, to himself. Right clicks after he gets low. Meanwhile, Death Blossom used as they try to finish this one off. Sleep Dart comes in. Myunghoon with no kills. Coco gets the pin. And Envyus with a ditch effort try to defend this one. Gamsu pops Primal Rage and gets out of there.
Yeah, but he uses most of the time on the Primal Rage just to retreat right there.
Yep.
Getting a few hops in and out, so not the most efficient use. Could have used that to knock people off of the payload on a final push, and that's not going to happen now, Noah.
All right, Taimu comes in with the Death Blossom, and that's exactly what Envyus needs to close out Dorado and close out this series. Doesn't look like T6 is going to be able to push it the rest of the way. Liz goes into the Pulse Bomb, catches nobody, and Envyus with the hold. There's the overtime now, but it is running out, and Envyus going down on the third map, but they will take the match with a 3-1 victory.
That was, I think, a little close for comfort if you looked at Internet Hulk's face right as that game ended.
Yeah.
Down to the wire right there. Fortunately, they were able to push up right into the entrance and get a clutch Death Blossom to finish off that map, but it was a little bit hairy at the end.
It was close, but I think we saw some really good coordination right at the end from Envyus. They were able to be the better team. T6, though, I would say, still showing that individual skill, but a little bit more coordination than we saw from them last time.
Definitely a lot more than I thought.
Slight improvement, but it's enough to make you kind of worry if you're going to play them and you're another team in this group.
I think the takeaway here from T6 is we've seen them play well individually on certain heroes, but they seem to lack the kind of diversity that we see from a team like Envy.
Right.
They were really reluctant to play McCree in this match, which strikes me as odd. Really committed to kind of the DPS combination of Tracer, Genji, and Reaper. So I think we may have seen some flaws in their strategy, some flaws in their ability to really play a lot of different diverse heroes and compositions.
Yeah. Going forward, though, that does mean that Conbox T6 is 1-1 in the group, so their hopes of the playoffs are still very much alive.
Absolutely.
Still has to play Lunatic High, though, which is not going to be an easy opponent.
No, and you know, you take a look at this group and you really think like Envy and Lunatic High are the massive favorites to make them out, but
yeah,
perhaps we can see some sort of upset from Conbox T6, this new team that is kind of bursting onto the scene in the last few weeks and recently formed, but yeah.
Well, we do see, I feel like on T6, certain players starting to stand out a little bit more. I think Liz had a lot of good Tracer play here overall.